the first song I'd like to do is called Circle the World. And this song is for the International World Peace Day. And this came about in an amazing way. I had the honor of meeting Dr. Jane Goodall through my book, The Tree, and I started working with her youth activist group called Roots and Shoots. And one time when I was watching Jane speak in North Carolina, I was in the audience and she was talking about World Peace Day and how the United Nations had made her a messenger of peace, which was an honor she took very seriously. And she heard that they had this United Nations International Day of Peace, which falls on September 21st or thereabouts, which we're just coming up to right now. And she said, well, if we're going to have a world holiday, we need to have some kind of a ritual or a celebration that everyone can do all over the world. And she had the idea of creating these giant peace dove puppets, which are big, huge, like 15, 20 feet wingspan peace dove puppets, and they're like 20 feet long, and they're made out of old bed sheets and chicken wire and sticks, materials that one can find even in the poorest countries of the world. And she was giving her speech, and she said, one day there will be so many people marching with giant peace dove puppets that you'll be able to see a ring of white around the earth from space via satellite. And I thought, that is the biggest vision I have ever heard. and I'm a bit of a math guy, so I thought, God, I wonder if that's even possible. And so I thought, okay, the Earth is about 24,000 miles around, and it's 5,280 feet per mile, and the peace doves are about 20 feet long and 20 feet wide, and I've camped on top of the Great Wall of China, which is about 20 feet wide, and I know that's visible from space via satellite. So that means it'll be around 580 million people to carry the peace doves, which leaves the other 6 billion to cook for us. And I was like, oh, that's really exciting. This is actually doable. And after her talks, Jane, often signs books for an hour or two. She's very generous with her time. And when she was done with that, I went up to her and I said, hey, Jane, your idea about circling the world with those peace dove puppets, I did the math, and it's entirely possible. And she goes, of course it's possible. And we're going to do it. And we need you to write a song about it. And I was like, oh, boy. I need to come through with a good one. And I go on these songwriting retreats where I go for a few weeks to a beach or the forest somewhere and hide from computers, phones, and cars. And I sit down, I get up in the morning, and I just play guitar till I get tired of playing guitar. And I sat down, okay, this song is for Jane Goodall. I need a good one. And this is the song that came out. And I'm happy to say it's the title track of a CD I have with Dr. Jane Goodall called Circle the World, where she tells stories about world peace and chimpanzees, and I sing related songs. And we're very fortunate tonight to have a giant peace dove puppet here in the Varvid studios. And thanks so much to Trish Knox and her team for bringing the peace dove up from Woodinville. And I'm going to be playing 2 peace dove shows, one on September 21st here in Bellingham. Actually, I'm emceeing and singing Circle the World, and then I'm playing a show that Trish is organizing in Carnation, Washington, down by Seattle. So that is the story of Circle the World. And we are slowly circling the world. I think last year there were 4,000 peace doves marching in over 40 countries. So this will happen. This will happen. Once a year, we all circle the world and talk about how we want world peace. Kind of seems like a far-fetched notion, but I think we can achieve it. Might not happen quickly, but the day will happen when we do achieve it, because we have to. It's kind of a biological necessity.
What if we could circle the world, flying peace doves beneath the sun? Giant 20-footer wings of fabric that are handmade by everyone. Once a year we circle the world, saying, ain't it time to bury the guns? Our time has come, and we have begun to circle the world. It's a dream and it's a vision, it's a prayer that we may see. When every person, every creature will be treated with dignity. When every war will be a memory we never shall repeat. Our time has come and we have begun to circle the world. What if we could circle the world, flying peace doves beneath the sun? Giant 20-foot wings of fabric that are handmade by everyone. Once a year we circle the world, saying, ain't it time to bury the guns? Our time has come and we have begun to circle the world. It's a parade and it's a party, giant puppets with many drums. It's a song with many rhythms that is sung in many tongues. It's a giant snake dance in every country beneath the sun. Our time has come and we have begun to circle the world. What if we could circle the world, flying peace doves beneath the sun? The giant 20-foot wings of fabric that are handmade by everyone. Once a year we circle the world, saying, ain't it time to bury the guns? Our time has come and we have begun to circle the world. Our time has come and we have begun to circle the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Did we get a good shot of that peace stub? Should we bring the peace stub out here for you guys? Is that easier on the camera? Yeah. Bring the peace stub on out here in front of the camera. Just be careful not to knock down these lovely lights there. Oh, here comes the peace stub. And if you're eye-chatting with Katie Romley. Oh, yes, Katie has some notes. Oh, here comes the peace stub. Check out this. Old bed sheets, chicken wire, and sticks. Even people like myself can put these together. It might take people like me a little bit longer, but you can learn how to make these at janegoodall.org. That is the peace stub, live in the Varvid studio. Thank you. Let's have a hand for our crew here, the peace stub crew. In a few short years, we should have 580 million people marching with approximately 100 million peace stubs. So that'll be a great day. It's going to take a lot of bed sheets. All right, Katie, did you have some notes from iChat land? John and Kath say hi from Townsville, Australia. John, I need to talk to you about the big tour in April and May. I'm booking Montana now, and I'm thinking, oh man, I got to finish Montana so I can book Queensland. Hi, John and Kath. John and Kath are from Townsville, Queensland, which is in the far north of Queensland. They call that the deep north in Australia. I'll play, Aaron had a request earlier. This is called Turn of the Wrench. I don't know if does our peace stub team want to escape underneath the camera? That's okay. You guys back there? You good back there? All right. Aaron requested this song. It's called Turn of the Wrench. And this happened, this is based on a true story that happened in Minnesota in the late 1970s and early 80s. And I researched this by reading a book called The Bolt Weevils, which was written by the late U.S. Senator Paul Wellstone, who was an outstanding senator in his time and a great man of the people. But this is called Turn of the Wrench. Svensson was a farmer. He grew the Minnesota wheat. He rode there on his daughter, high upon the thresher's seat. They broke down on the hillside, the radiator spitting steam. Went back to get the toolbox so they could fix the old machine. With a turn of the wrench and a twist of the screw, we can fix the tractor, we can make it like new. But that day they got a letter that said the power lines would come right across their farmlands, right across the setting sun. So they gathered all the family and talked late into the night. We cannot let them do this. We've got to put up one hell of a fight with a turn of the wrench and a twist of the screw. We'll apply a little pressure and we'll see what that will do. They phoned 100 farmers and drove to the Twin Cities. Met there with the governor and they sued the utility. But after writing all the letters and paying all the legal costs to the power of the city, once again the farmers lost. And in the still of the evening, the wind is all you hear. I watch the waves on the wheat fields alone. I walk the furrows of earth I plant year after year. This is our land, this is our home. This is our land, this is our home. So they met there at the tavern, but there wasn't much to say. The power lines may come, but they will not stay. With a turn of the wrench and a twist of the screw, what was once put together, we can easily undo. With bandanas on their faces, careful not to make a sound, they loosened all the bolts that held the towers to the ground. And several weeks later, with nobody around, the Minnesota winds blew tower after tower after tower down. With a turn of the wrench and a twist of the screw, what was once put together, we can easily undo. With a turn of the wrench
twist of the screw. What was once put together, we can easily undo. And in the still of the evening, the wind is all you hear. I watch the waves on the wheat fields alone. I walk the furrows of earth I plant year after year. This is our land, this is our home. This is our land, this is our home. This is our land, this is our home. This is our land, this is our home.
Thank you. Sure, sure.
He said, "We're beaten, helpless, and disenfranchised, yet with only one verse, I feel powerful and inspired again."
Wow. Oh, John's inspired.
Rob.
Hmm?
Rob.
That's Rob. Right on, Rob. Now we... No, thanks for that, Rob. My grandpa was a cowboy, and his pa before him. Let's start that again. This is on TV, so I can do this. My grandpa was a cowboy, and his pa before him. I still can't remember the words. I didn't want to play that song anyway right now. I'm gonna play something else. The great thing, when you think about it, there's really only two kinds of music. There's country and Western. And the convenient thing about country Western music is there are only two different chord patterns. And I've written 3 songs with the same chord pattern, so I'm going to try another one with that same chord pattern. See if I can remember the words on that one.
Fat and docile, big and dumb. They look so stupid, they aren't much fun. Cows aren't fun. They eat to grow, grow to die, die to be et on the hamburger fry. Cows well done. Nobody thunk it, nobody knew, no one imagined the great cow guru. Cows are one. He hid in the forest, read books with great zeal. He loved Che Guevara, a revolutionary veal. Cows say tongue. He spoke about justice, but nobody stirred. He felt like an outcast, alone in the herd. Cow doll drums. He mooed we must fight, escape or we'll die. Cows gathered around because the stakes were so high. Bad cow pun. He mooed we must fight, escape or we'll die. Cows gathered around because the stakes were so high. Bad cow pun. But then he was captured, stuffed into a crate, loaded onto a truck where he rode to his fate. Cows are bummed. He was a scrawny calf who looked rather woozy. No one suspected he was packing an Uzi. Cows with guns. They came with a needle to stick in his thigh. He kicked for the groin, pissed in their eye. Cow well hung. Knocked over a tractor and ran for the door. 6 gallons of gas flowed out on the floor. A run, cows run. He picked up a bullhorn and jumped up on the hay. We are free-roving bovines. We run free today. We will fight for bovine freedom and hold our large heads high. We will run free with the buffalo or die. Cows with guns. They crashed the gate in a great stampede, tipped over a milk truck, torched all the feed. Cows have fun. 60 police cars were piled in a heap, covered in cow pies, covered up deep. Much cow dung. Black smoke rising, darkening the day. 12 burning McDonald's. Have it your way. We will fight for bovine freedom and hold our large heads high. We will run free with the buffalo or die. Cows with guns. The president said, enough is enough. These uppity cattle, it's time to get tough. Cow dung flung. The newspapers gloated, folks sighed with relief. Tomorrow at noon, they would all be ground beef. Cows on buns. The cows were surrounded, they waited and prayed. They mooed their last moos, they chewed their last hay. Cows outgunned. The order was given to turn cows to whoppers, enforced by the might of 10,000 coppers. But on the horizon, surrounding the shoppers, came the deafening roar of chickens in choppers. We will fight for bovine freedom and hold our law fly. We will run free with the buffalo or die. Cows with guns. Thank you. Thank you. That was Cows with Guns. The story behind that song is a remarkable one. I was awoken by my cat, Oliver. He knocked a plant off the shelf and woke me up at about 5 in the morning. And I was in the middle of a dream, and I was dreaming the song Cows with Guns. And I had the whole chorus in my head. All the words and music of the chorus were complete, and then I had a whole bunch of verses, and I rushed out into the parking lot of the apartment building, and I started scribbling it down, and I tape recorded it so I wouldn't forget the tune. And it was different in the dream than it evolved into in the song. It was almost like a military treatise, like a history. There were specific battles. Like one battle, I remember the cows were fighting the U.S. Marines in Omaha. And there were a whole bunch of very specific skirmishes. It was a very weird dream. And so I was out there working for hours, and my girlfriend at the time finally came out and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I dreamt this weird song, and I'm writing it down." And it was coincidentally the day I was going to meet her parents for the first time, and she said, "Oh, let me hear it. Maybe you can play it for Mom and Dad tonight." And I played it for her, and she said, "Maybe not." So that is the story. I think Cows with Guns has been an amazing, amazing journey for me, taking me many interesting places. Well, my friend Anne is here in the studio. We're here for those of you watching on the webcast, we're live from Bellingham, Washington in the Varvid studios for the Bellingham, Washington Art Walk. And my friend Anne is here, and she's recovering from an operation. Really happy to see you up and about. And Anne often helps me sell my CDs and T-shirts and stuff at shows in the region. And she always asks for the same 2 songs. And so I'm going to play them right now. Thank you, Anne. Seventh generation, calling you to battle. The burning of the future, calling you to battle. Seventh generation, some do not forget you. The burning of the future, calling you to battle. calling you to battle. seventh generation. My God, what have we left you? The burning of the future, calling you to battle. There's a drop of water on the wall, and the drop's about to fall, and it falls into a trickle, and the trickle's flowing down, down, down to the ground, and the moss begins to grow. Watch, 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 watch the water flow, and watch the current become a stream, busting through the seams, cracking through the concrete, bending down the steel in a raging that is real, a tearing torrent you can feel the thunder growing, the thunder underground, and in my heart the chains falling apart, the wildness in my soul. And for once in life, I know I'm not alone. For the mountains make our bones, with the oceans in our blood, our feet planted firmly in the mud. We are alive, the burning embers in our eyes, the tingling touch upon our skin, and in the heat passion we begin to understand that we are of this land, that we are part of earth, and when she's threatened we will fight for all we're worth. We watch the dam come crashing down, water rushing to the sea, and now the river, now the river, now the river, now is free. Of water on the wall, and the drop's about to fall, and it falls into a trickle, and the trickle's flowing down, down, down to the ground, and the moss begins to grow. Watch, 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 watch the water flow, and watch the currents become a stream, a busting through the seams, a cracking through the concrete, a bending down the steel in a raging that is real, a tearing a torrent you can feel the thunder growing, the thunder underground, and in my heart the chains falling apart, water rushing to the sea, and now the river, now the river, now the river, now is free. The river is free. The river is free. Run, run the river, run the river, run. The river is free.
Thank you. That was 2 songs right in a row, and that first song isn't recorded yet. I'm hoping that'll be on my next album. And that's called Seventh Generation. And I wrote that. I was on a rafting trip on the Green River in Utah, and it was 110 degrees, and all my friends went hiking during the day, and I thought it's too hot to hike, and I sat there under the shade of this tree in 110 degrees, and I was just baking, and that little number came to me. And the second song is called Drop of Water. And exactly a year ago, maybe even to the day, I got to sing that song at the removal of the largest dam that was ever removed in the United States, at the Elwha River Dam in the Olympic National Park in Washington State on the Olympic Peninsula. And it was an amazing event. I was really honored to be there. Unfortunately, they did the ceremony right next to the dam, so everyone who wanted to come couldn't go. There was only room for 450 people or so. I think tens of thousands would have gone because it's such a big deal. And all of us going over to the site had to cross the dam, and the dam is about 100 feet up from the stream. And right when you're starting to walk across, they had all this beautiful artwork made by artists from Port Angeles and the region, and you're walking across and you look down this dam. And you're looking down 100 feet down this cement flat thing. At the bottom is this pool of water, and there were 60 king salmon swimming around in that pool of water, and they would bump their noses into the dam. And those salmon have been bumping their noses into the dam for 100 years. Not the same salmon. But their family been bumping their nose. They know where they're supposed to be. And it's an amazing thing, because all of us had to look down at that. All of our elected officials who were there, and there were a lot of our elected officials there, and the Elwha Clallam people were there, and all of us who had worked so many years to have that dam removed, and it was incredible. And it was a turning point in U.S. history, in American history. It was not just a big deal for the Olympic Peninsula or Olympic National Park or for our region, but it's a big deal when a culture decides for the first time, we've been building these giant dams and these giant rivers forever, and for the first time we come to agreement in an extremely slow-moving democracy. We come to agreement over 30 years of discussion to remove it. That's a big deal. Yes. Now we can be proud of that. We can be proud of that. And it was fascinating. One of the things I found most fascinating was watching the body language of our elected officials. I mean, everybody was there. I mean, the governor was there, both U.S. senators were there, Representative Norm Dix was there, the Secretary of the Interior was there, the Assistant Secretary of Interior was there, the head of the National Parks was there, the head of Olympic National Park was there, the tribal chair of the Elwha Clallam were there. Everybody was there. And it's not an easy thing to be an elected official, even for the really good ones. Maybe it's easy for the really corrupt ones, and there's certainly plenty of those, but there are some really good elected officials who are really trying their best to do the right thing for all of us. And it's tough being elected official because the art of politics is you have to compromise, and you have to vote for things that you really don't like. And it was so nice, you could tell by the body language of all these public officials that they're like, oh, thank God, I finally get to do something good. They were almost gleeful. And then I never thought I would see the day. I literally pinched myself when I heard this, because I was not expecting this. I played Drop of Water. I was the last person in the program. And then right after me, I think it was the head of the National Park Service, gets up and she says, and now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the Secretary of Interior will pick up the bullhorn and give the order for the excavator to start demolishing the dam. I'm like, no, really? And sure enough, Salazar picks up the bullhorn and gives the order, and I'm just like, my mouth is like, it's like my ultimate fantasy. And this giant excavator just goes boom into this dam, and this cement goes shattering all over the place. There's bent rebar, and the crowd goes wild. And U.S. senators going, woo, and all the El Waqlawm people are cheering, and everyone's going wild. I'm like, oh my God, change is possible. It may take a really long time, but I witnessed it, so congratulations. A lot of us worked on it for many years, but it's a real pleasure to be there. Let's see, what should I wrap it up with here? Well, I'm going to close with one more song, and before I do that, I want to thank Aaron and the entire Varvid crew working the cameras and running the computers and everything, and really appreciate it for doing this webcast. I want to thank my friends who tuned in out there in Webland, and thanks for iChatting. And again, my name is Dana Lyons. I live here in Bellingham, and tomorrow kicks off what I'm calling the Great Coal Train Tour. So this is really the kickoff of the Great Coal Train Tour. This is like one of probably 40 shows. It's going to be a very busy month. This is going all the way till Christmas, this tour. But the tour starts in Friday Harbor as the kickoff, and I go from the San Juans, then I drive to Billings, Montana. I'm going all the way to the Powder River Basin to where some of the ranchers are fighting to stop the mines, and then I'm going to come all the way back, all the way across Montana, and then through Spokane, and then down the Columbia River Gorge to Portland, and then I'm going to come back up to Bellingham and go south to Coos Bay. And that's going to be a long tour. And the fascinating thing about setting up this tour, I was telling Rob about it earlier, is the train, while it affects so many people in our region, and basically for those of you who aren't familiar with the train, they want to export 1 billion tons of coal via rail, send it by coal super tankers over to China to burn it into electricity, where the smoke will come up and come back and dump mercury in our lakes, not to mention what it does to the people in China. But we're talking about having 20 extra trains through Bellingham a day, which is really loud and has health effects and economic effects, and 50 through Spokane. But the amazing thing about this tour is that each neighborhood and each town has a different take on it. Like that, it's affected in different ways. So I'm playing a lot of neighborhood shows. I'm hoping to do a number of neighborhoods in Bellingham. I'm talking about doing 3 different neighborhoods around Tacoma, some in Portland, and it's really fun. And it's a fascinating issue because so many people from different walks of life are concerned about it. So in any case, that's starting tomorrow. And we'll go for a long time. You can read it. You can find out where those dates are at cowswithguns.com. I added a show today in Yakima, which I didn't even know was on the train route. They're taking the empty train cars through Yakima. They can't take it empty because they can go over the pass that goes up there. They can save some diesel fuel money. It's fascinating. This is a big deal. It is so giant. Our region is fighting minor players like Goldman Sachs and Peabody Coal and Warren Buffett. The way I look at it, I think we've got them surrounded. I'm predicting victory. But I'm not gonna close with my Coal Train song, because I want to close with a more cheerful song. But next week I'm releasing my Coal Train song, which is called "Sometimes" on video. It's my first music video, and some of my Western students, camera people, filmed it this spring, so we'll be releasing that. So stay tuned at cowswithguns.com, and you'll get to see that. But instead, I'm going to finish with my favorite Pete Seeger song. This is called "If I Had a Hammer," and I just love this song. It's a great uplifting song, and Pete Seeger, I think Pete's 94 now, and still just doing amazing work. He was on Stephen Colbert, I guess, last month. I have yet to see that. I can't imagine Stephen Colbert and Pete Seeger. But anyway, thanks so much for coming, and thanks to the camera crew and the computer crew, and thanks for those of you who are watching out on the web. And here we go.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd hammer out the love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out warning, I'd ring out the love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. If I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out warning, I'd sing out the love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Got a hammer, and I've got a bell, and I've got a song to sing all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out and supporting the Bellingham Art Walk. Thank you.
Brought to you by the fine folks at Varvid, video and digital media for business. Contact us at info@varvid.com or online at varvid.com.